Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, what you are going to learn. If you watch this video, then you can able to host any model which is present in Hugging Face from your EC2 instance. That is locally from your EC2 instance, you can able to host any model which is available in Hugging Face. So for this, what I require? I require an EC2 instance so that I'll create in this session only. Then after, I want to host a model. So for this demo, I want to take Mistral AI model. So that I want to host it. Now let's see what are the steps that we follow to do this task. The first step is we need to first get the model or download the model to our EC2 instance. So before this, first we need to create this EC2 instance. Then we need to get the model from the Hugging Face or download the model from Hugging Face. Then after we need to test that a downloaded model is working or not. After that, we need to host that downloaded model. Finally, we need to access that model, hosted model by using some code. So these are the tasks we need to perform right now. First, let's launch our EC2 instance to host this Mistral AI model. Now you can observe I login into my AWS management console. I want to host my model. So for that you can or I want to launch an EC2 instance to host my model. First I'm clicking on this launch instance. This is my EC2 management console. So from here or else you can just so whenever you log in into AWS management console you reach to this home page. From here you can search for the EC2 so that you can able to open this EC2 dashboard. From here, I want to launch an EC2 instance, so that's why I'm clicking here. Now, this is for hosting a model, so that's why I want to put a name for this model like model 1 hosting. Like this, I am putting my name. You can put any name of this, or you don't need to put any name for this EC2 instance. Then you need to select Amazon Mission image. So for this demo, I'm using the Linux, that is a free image. But remember, based on the instance type that you are selecting, you can able to host a model. For this demo, I am taking T3 2x large. The reason behind I'm taking this is my model require at least more than 16 GB, at least more than 16 GB of memory in order to host my model. So that's why that's only related to that reason I'm sticking to this T3 2x large. You can even take any model or any instance type which is having more memory than this 32 GB. Since it's charging me less and providing me this memory with as much as possible low cost, I'm choosing this for this demo. But for a higher performance, for faster performance or for faster responses from your hosted model, what you will do on top of this EC2 instance, you will host your model. So whenever you host your model, the latency is important. That is how much time our model will take to respond to our request. So that's also important. If you consider that point, if you want a high performance that is within less low latency, that is at low time, if you want the response, then you need to choose the best instance type. That is you need to choose a bit more vCPUs, a bit more instance type which is having more vCPUs. Now I'm selecting this for this demo. Since it's a demo video, I'm selecting this T3 2x large. So this is the basic because it requires 32 GB of memory to host this particular model, because this model requires high amount of memory in order to host it, at least greater than 16 GB of memory. Now for this demo, I don't want any key pair, so that's why I'm selecting this. And I want to allow HTTPS as well as HTTP traffic, because if I request through internet, then my model need to respond and provide me the response. So that's why I'm allowing HTTP and HTTPS requests. And this is also one more important, that is this how much storage you want for this model, whatever the model that you are choosing. Based on that model, you need to select the storage. Let's open the Hugging Face models, and let's see which model you want to use. So for me, I want to use Mistral model, latest Mistral model. So for text generation task, I want to use. So for text generation, I have selected this. And let's see the latest Mistral models, whatever I have. It's a 24 billion. I don't want to host this because it's too large. It's 7 billion. So I want to host it. It's a bit less size, and I can able to host this. And you can see the files and versions. And if you calculate here the total size of all these files, you can able to get an approximate volume that you require to host this model. So let's open a calculator. You can see here 1 KB. Okay. So let's take this as up to here. Let's take it as 15 GB. Approximately, I'm calculating the size. And let's take this as 5 GB. So totally 20. And up to here, here we need to add some more 5 GB. And here, let's add one more 5 GB. And to load this, yeah. So let's add one more GB for other files. Okay. So totally 31 GB you require to save this whole repository, right? Yes. So to save this model, you require approximately 31. If you want to add a bit more like 32, or so let's take a round of like 35 GB I require to host this model. So let's call, in order to host this model, how much storage I require? 35 GB. For this demo, I want to take a bit more. So I'm taking 50 GB of memory to host this model. Even on fly also, that is after launching your EC2 instance also, you can able to increase this storage. I want to show that as well. So that's why I'm taking only exactly 35 GB. So in middle, if we get any storage issues, then we'll again increase this storage if required. Okay. So now I considered my instance type based on the memory that I require, and I also considered my storage based on my model volume. Now I'm clicking on launch instance. So whenever you click on this launch instance, now our instance is launching with the provided configurations. What are the instance type that is selected? With that, providing that many GPUs and that much memory and the storage that we configured. So based on the configurations that we provide, our EC2 instance was just now created. Yeah, you can see that is this. So you can select it to see the storage as well. You can see under here storage. Yeah, 35 GB is there. If you want to increase the storage size, it's also possible. You can select this volume, and you can able to increase it as well. So before increasing, you must need to stop that instance. That is whatever the running EC2 instance is there, that you need to move into stop state. then only you can able to increase that instance related volume size, and even instance type change. You can also increase and decrease, or you can also change the instance type after you stopping this instance. So you can see here, this is the volume that I am using. You can click on this actions and you can see an option that is modify volume, and you can add how much you require, like 50 GB or how much, and then click on modify so that it will be added like that to your easy to attached volume, EBS volume, and you can able to increase the size of your volume. Now I want to connect to this to perform the task, and achieve these things, like I want to host my model right locally. So let's connect to this. I just clicked on this connect, easy to connect. Yeah, here I just clicked. Now it shows me to option to connect to this EC2 instance. I'm just clicking on it so that it will connect to my EC2 instance. Now initially I want to clear this. So what are my requirements? I want to see my memory. So for that you need to use this command like hit stop. So currently it is not there. So you need to install it at first. The command has to run under super user privileges. That means a root user only can able to install this hit stop. So that's why I'm changing my user type to root user. Sudo space su is the command that you use to change from EC2 user to root user. I just moved my EC2 user to root user. Now I want to install this hit stop. So why do we need this hit stop, sir? If you want to see the memory or GPU utilization, then you must need to install this hit stop because it provides you visually a great interface for seeing that data. So this much data is installing. I'm pressing yes. Okay, done. So I'm just typing HTOP. You can see here. So what is the memory currently utilized? Out of 31 GB, this much memory is utilized. And you can also see the tasks which are performing and how many threads are running, and so all the details you can able to see. So mainly you can able to see how much memory is utilized. So let's keep it in one window, and let's connect to our instance in one more window to perform other tasks. And let's also see how much memory I have. You can see this much memory I have, like almost 30 GB I have available, that memory. Now I want to see like how much disk space, like storage, how much storage I have. If you want to see the storage that available to you, then simply type disk file in human readable format df-h. It will show you like, so under the root how much storage is available. So totally 34 GB is available and 1.8 GB is used, because whenever you launch this EC2 instance, for loading this operating system, it requires some storage. So you can see, so these are utilized, this much storage is utilized, and this much storage is available. Now okay, so I have seen that I have this much amount of 34 GB of volume is there for me, and my model require actually, so 35 GB or 31 GB I require for this model, and the memory also I have, that is 30 GB. Now let's install the model, or you can see, let's install this Mistral model, and let's First, let's install that Mistral model and let's test the working of it. That is, we are now on step one. That is this, download or get the model. So how to download or get that model? If you want to download the model which is present in Hugging Face Hub, so first you need to log in. You need to log in with verified user. If you are downloading any gated models, gated community models, that is here you can able to see that. If you want to download such models, you first need to log in with your username to your EC2 instance. So how to log in? If you want to log in through CLI, you need to use this command, that is Hugging Face CLI space login. You can see this Hugging Face is not found. So then you need to install that Hugging Face CLI. So I'm just installing. So if you want to perform any installation, you need to become a super user. Let's become a super user, sudo space su. Yeah, now I'm a root user, right? Yes. Now I want to install this Hugging Face CLI. For that, m install Hugging Face hyphen CLI is the command that you use to install it. Basically, there is no Hugging Face CLI or dependency. So for this, you need to install Hugging Face Hub. So I'm just installing Hugging Face Hub so that this Hugging Face CLI also I'll get as a dependency. Pip install as a user. So what I'm doing, I'm installing Hugging Face, Hugging Face Hub, Hugging Face Hub CLI. For CLI, I'm installing it. So let's put it in a double quotes because we mentioned CLI. Pip command is not okay. So let's exit from root user and let's try to install it. Or let's check pip is visible right now. No, pip is again not visible. So let's try Python 3. Yes, Python 3 is there. Let's type Python 3 space hyphen m and pip. Still pip is not. Let's do one thing, or let's follow industry standards. Let's make a virtual environment and from there let's try to access the pip. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm creating a virtual environment. Python 3 space hyphen make VNV with the name VNV1. So virtual environment 1 I'm creating. And you can able to list so that you can able to see that virtual environment. I want to activate that. So VNV1 forward slash bin forward slash activate. So this is the command that you use to activate it. You can see this was just now activated. Now let's type this pip. Okay, now pip is visible to us. So let's clear the screen. Now first I want to install into this virtual environment. I want to install that Hugging Face CLI. If I want to install that Hugging Face CLI, I need to use a command that is pip install Hugging Face Hub. So its dependency is the CLI. So you need to mention like this and just click on enter so that this Hugging Face Hub CLI will be installed to you. Yes. Now let's type for that. That is Hugging Face hyphen CLI. So now you can see we're getting some comments for it. Like we can able to download it and we can able to log out, log in, and who am I will provide you the username for that. Now let's see or let's try to download a model. Before logging into Hugging Face CLI, let's try to access or download a model. Hugging Face hyphen CLI space download. So whatever model you want to download, that model name you need to provide here. I'm just copying this and providing that here within double quotes. The exact model name we need to provide. So now I'm just clicking on enter. So what we are getting now, cannot access gated repository. So if any repository is gated, then we need authorization to access that gated repository. So how to get access to that gated repository, sir? So you just need to open that model and agree for all the policies, or agree for that particular repository related policies. So if you agree that, then you can able to see, yeah, verified. Model card you can able to open. Now you can see you have granted access to this model. Now we have the access to this model. As this user, I can able to access this model right now. So in order to access this model, first I need to log in as this user, and then I need to download this model. So then I can able to be get authorized. So for that, first I want to log in Hugging Face -CLI space login. So just so let's type again the Hugging Face. Okay, Hugging Face -CLI space login is the command that you need to use, so that it will ask you for token. In order to log in into that, it will ask you for token. Let's generate a token from Hugging Face. Now let's open that Hugging Face, that our model, and you can see this is my account. Now I want to create a token for this demo right now. So you can see access tokens, just click on it so that you can reach out to your page. You can see this is the key that I've created for my practice, and for this demo I'm creating a new key and I'm clicking on this. You can provide your key name, like, so what are the key name that you want to put. It's a demo key, so that's why I'm providing the name like a demo key. So don't worry, don't copy, because I'll delete this key whenever this demo got completed. By using this demo key, what I need to do, I need to access the repository, right? So I need to access all repositories from your personal namespace. Yes, I need to read all public and gated repositories, because I need to access it, right? So that's why I need definitely this permission, and the other permissions are optional. If you want, then you can able to put. That's it. And I'm just clicking on create token. Now you can see my token got created. I'm just copying it and I'm opening my EC2 instance. Here actually I'm pasting my token. Actually I pasted my token. It's not visible to you. I'm just clicking on enter. You can see add your token to git credentials. I don't want to add my token to git credentials, so that's why I'm typing in. You can see I logged in successfully with a token that is this. If you have a doubt like are you successfully logged into Hugging Face CLI or not, then you just type like this: Hugging Face CLI, who am I? So just click on enter. You can see your name will be visible to you. I want to clear this at first. Okay, done. Now I log in into my. Now let's try to download that model. So let's copy again that model name. I just copied that, and meanwhile you can able to see that how much memory is used. And now I want to download this Hugging Face -CLI space download. So what model you want? whatever the model that you copied, that I'm pasting here, and just clicking on enter. So you can see the model is getting downloading. Wow, super fast, right? Yeah. So let's wait for a moment so that this whole data, that is how much memory or how much volume it was, so that all volume will be downloaded. You have seen like the files and their storage, those all files need to be downloaded, which are available in this model. So these all files need to be get downloaded to you. Then only you can able to access this model locally. You can see like how much memory is utilizing here. And meanwhile, let's say you want to see the volume, how much volume is filling and how much is empty. So that I want to see. Then I'm just opening this tab and just clicking on Control C. Now, so instead of h stop, you can type like a df-h so that you can able to see how much memory you can see. So previously 31 GB or something is available, now 30 GB. Used is this. You can just retype it so that you can able to monitor like how much storage is occupied. Those things you can able to monitor from here. And you can able to list the block size as well to see how much storage you have to this, or how much volume that you allocated to your EBS block. That is 35 GB is this. And you can also see the freely available storage, like 30 GB of memory is available, and this much amount of memory is used. If you want a live record related to this memory, then you can type this as stop. You can able to see this. Now I'm just clicking on Control C because I want to see the memory or the storage that I'm using. So that's why I'm clicking on df space h. You can see now 26 GB is available and 9.9 GB is filled. That means utilized. Previously 30 GB is available, now 26 GB is available. That means my model is getting downloading. Let's wait till this model downloading gets ended. I'm just pausing it for a moment. Now you can observe like almost 4.5 GB, like these files got done or downloaded successfully, and these are getting downloading. It might take a moment again. And meanwhile, if you want to see the storage or how much volume you have still left, you can see the available volume is 4.9 GB and the filled volume is 31 GB. So I don't know whether the size will be sufficient or not. If not sufficient, I'll show you how to increase the volume as well of our EC2 instance. That is this storage, EBS storage right now, if required. Let's wait till this gets done. Again, these two will be there. That is this leftover storage and this leftover storage needs to be get downloaded. Let's see how much storage we have. So still we have 12 GB available and 16 GB available in the stem files and 3.1 GB available here. So let's wait and see whether this model can able to download or not. Let's see again like how much volume I have left with. So still we have 12 GB of volume available. So let's wait for this gets downloaded. Meanwhile, you need to observe one more important point, that is this dot cache Hugging Face. So inside this home EC2 user, inside this cache files, inside the Hugging Face, actually our model is getting installing. Since I am performing this task as a EC2 user, not a root user. Remember this, I am performing this task as a EC2 user, not as a root user. So that's why since I'm performing this task or downloading this as a EC2 user, this model is getting downloading inside my home EC2 user path. Let's say you are performing this task as a root user. That is, you perform this by using sudo space Hugging Face CLI space download space that whatever the model name that you provide, and if you type enter, then that model actually stores in the root directory. That is, so not inside this path, it will directly store under forward slash. This is nothing but the root directory. So I'll show you the difference. Like currently, which user he is? He's a root user. So you can just type, you can move to this, that is a change to home. This is the symbol of home. Then you can type with the present working directory. Like you can see, this is the root directory. Since this is a root user, his home is nothing but root directory. Now I want to exit from this root user. You can see now I'm a EC2 user and I want to change the home directory of this EC2 user. So now we are in the home directory of this EC2 user. If we see the present working directory, you can see under home under EC2. So if you perform any task by using this EC2 user, then or if you download anything, any cache, then that cache files will be downloaded inside this. If you log in as a root user, so where is that? Sudo space su is the root user command. Let's log into or let's move to root user by using sudo space su command. Okay. So for this root user, if you perform the task like what is that? Hugging face hyphen CLI space download or download some model. Then what happens is it will actually download under root directory. That is, your downloaded files will be stored actually at, I'll show you that path, in this root directory dot cache forward slash hugging face. So inside this actually that file will be stored if you download it by using this root user. Or else if you download it by using an EC2 user, you can see this is the EC2 user. By using that, if you download it, then for that EC2 user, the cache files will be stored under home EC2 user. So in this location, it will be stored. So why I am telling where this cache files will be stored? Because inside this cache underscore Hugging Face only your model will be stored. So if you want to access your model, you must need to know this location. You must need to know this location. So that's why I am again specifying this, or I am again explaining this. Now let's see how much volume got completed. So this is the root. Inside this only 7.8 GB is available. Previously, if you observe 12 GB, okay, let it take, let our model take to download and let it fill and wait till it's get completed. Or else let's calculate randomly like how much storage is required. Again here a bit of 3 point approximately greater than 3 GB is required here, and here more than 9 GB is required. 9 plus 3 you can consider like 12 GB. Now let's see how much storage I have. So still 7.8 GB is there for me available in this root. And if we consider like temp files storage as well, then might it can able to store that data, or might it can able to load the whole model. Otherwise, if this downloading will only consider this root volume, then that storage is not sufficient, right? Yes, I require totally of 13 GB or like that. That is a remaining storage, but the available one is only 7 GB. So in order to get that at 13 GB, this temp file storage or so other storages, other files storages will be considered. Then that model will be downloaded, otherwise we'll get no space left. Like that we can able to get the exception or error. If we get such error, we need to increase the volume of our EBS. Then we reperform this downloading action. Not only, if you observe, not only these two files need to be downloaded. If you just scroll it up a bit, then this files need to be downloaded, and this tensor file need to be downloaded. It's again 14 GB. Okay. Then again, here you can see this also need to be downloaded. So a lot more are there. So let's see what happened. What will happen? Meanwhile, let's check with the volume I have left. Like still I have 5.8 GB available. Now this file downloading was approximately done. So after this gets downloaded, I think the above files will be download. Will start downloading or continue downloading. 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. So that's get downloaded. Okay, so everything gets downloaded. You can see the path. It was provided me this path. After everything gets downloaded, it was providing me the path. So in order to remove the confusion, like where our model is actually present, I'm just copying this path, and I want to store this path globally by using export command. Export hf underscore home. It will specify the Hugging Face home, and here I'm pasting that path, and I'm just clicking on enter. So now this I'm getting some mistake. I think I don't need to specify some space. Okay, now it's got stored. So let's see whether that got stored in this hf underscore home variable or not. Why I need to store this? Because if you are trying to access this model from your code, then you need to understood where your model is actually present. So that home I'm specifying, that Hugging Face home actually I'm specifying here. Now let's write the code, or you can say now the model is downloaded actually. That means, so where is it? Yeah, here. So step one got done. That is our model downloading was done. So what is the second step? We need to test the model working, or you can say we need to test the downloaded model. Let's open it again, and here let's type ls, and here let me create ls-la will provide you the hidden files as well. You can see hidden folders as well. So inside this cache my model, or you can say my Hugging Face model is present. If you want to see the storage that your model is taken, or you can say the how much storage this location or this folder was occupied, that if you want to see, then you can use this du, that means disk usage, in a human readable format by providing that folder name. So totally you can observe here like 28 GB. So it was consumed. Your model, or you can say our Mistral model was taking 28 GB for storing. So because you know how much storage that you require, so while creating or while creating your EC2 instance or assigning the storage volume size, you can take or you can consider that. Let's see this, that is how much a disk file is used. Like, so 29 GB is used, and 6.2 GB is available. So while creating, you can consider like approximately 30 GB you need to allocate for your model storing itself. And so you can take approximately 5 GB more for writing your code and hosting your model, or 2 3 GB is enough, but considering more is a bit better. Now what I want to do, I want to test that model. So in order to test that model, you need to I want to write a Python code for testing that model. So nano space app.py or test.py for testing. Now here, what I need to do, I need to import transformers. I want to load my model. First, I want to load my model and test the model, right? Yes. If you want to load the model, which is already available on our local storage, then we need to import this transformers library. From transformers, let's import auto model for casual language model. So this you need to import in order to load your model. By using that auto model for casual language model, you can able to load that model by using from pre-trained of. So what is your model name? What is your model name? My model name is, I previously copied, that is actually present here, that is this, and now I'm pasting that here. So this is my model. I want to consider that model or load that model. So then after I want to print like a model loaded successfully. Since I am using T3 2x lots, it may take a bit more time. Let's say I want to see how much time it was taking. If you want to see the time, then let's see the start time and let's see the end time after the model gets loaded. Time is the function to get the exact current time. And so actually it will provide you in the form of seconds. And let's say I want to see that like how many seconds. Totally seconds. How many seconds is nothing but my end time minus start time. So that's nothing but so how much time it will take to load the model. I'm just saving this and moving out and just running this test.py. So what I'll get, I do not have this transformers. So first install this transformers. So this transformers is getting installing. So this also again require one more GB. So while creating your EC2 and assigning a EBS volume, you need to focus on this as well. Like you need to add one more GB to install this transformers. And now I want to see the storage, like how much got used. So previously you can see 6.2 GB is there left, but now 5.9 GB is there. So still the model is not fully down. Yeah, now the model is get downloaded, or you can say the transformers that dependency got downloaded successfully. You can see 6 GB now available to me. Previously downloading, before downloading, how much GB I have under root volume. This is my root volume. Do I get any error? No, successfully installed this NumPy as well as this transformers as well. And one more thing, you need to install torch because it's a dependency of this transformers. So if you not install it and if you try to run your Python code, so then what happens, you can observe that, yeah, PyTorch dependency is there. So none of the PyTorch is there. So we need to install that PyTorch as well to run any transformers based models. Pip install torch. So I'm just clicking on it. So it will take again a moment to get downloaded. So whenever it gets downloaded, we can again run the Python code. if we recap the things like what we have done, so I'll show you that. We have first login to the CLI, then we downloaded our model, then now we have also provided the Hugging Face hub related home, then now we are testing the model. So that code is this, like we are passing some input and testing the model, but now just I'm loading the model. After loading the model, let's test the model as well. So this torch is getting installing. So it's actually getting downloading. Let's wait a moment. Meanwhile, let's see the how much storage gets used. So like 6 GB is available to me. Let's scroll it up and down. Or let's wait. I think the connection, let's wait for it. If the connection fails, then we again connect with this EC2 instance and again download this torch if this torch was not downloaded, and let's run it again. Again, I'm getting this. Let's exit the page. Done. I want to remove this page. I want to reconnect to this, and I don't know whether that PyTorch got downloaded or not. So I want to list currently what are the files I have. Okay, these two files I have. You can type pip freeze to check. Okay, so I need to activate this virtual environment because inside this virtual environment itself, I have downloaded all the required dependencies like transformer I have downloaded, Hugging Face CLI I have downloaded, and I'm trying to download like a torch. So I'm just activating that source vnv1 bin activate. So now it's get activated. I want to clear it. Let's let's check with the dependencies I have or whatever the libraries which are installed. So inside this, if can you able to observe any torch? No transformers is there. No torch I cannot able to see. So let's try to install it. If you not install and if you try to run your Python code like Python 3 space test dot py, then again you will get the same error like there is no PyTorch or PyTorch version that is greater than this. So let's install this torch to remove this error. This torch is actually a dependency for our transformers library. So for the transformers, we need to definitely download this torch. If you want to use the transformers library, definitely we need to install this torch. So again, this torch, you can see how much file size it was. This wheel size, this wheel like torch wheel size is again 700 MB. So you need to consider one more GB like the model size is 28 GB and this torch size or you can say transformer size is 1 GB, this torch size is 1 GB, totally 30 GB. And for the operating system, it again requires some 8 GB or something or 5 GB, 6 GB. So you need to take at least 35 GB in order to manage your storage to host this model, like Mistral model. Since this model is a large, I require, since this model is 7B parameters, I require a huge amount of storage, like 28 GB of volume to store that model related weights, that model you can say. And again, the dependencies like transformers as well as PyTorch 2 GB. Hey, why it's downloading like slowly? Let's see like the monitoring. So for my EC2 instance, this is the monitoring. Yeah, I think previously the CPU was reached to highest percentage of utilization. And networking, all the other things as well. I think we are doing a war on it. So that's why it is taking a bit more time. Or we are utilizing it mostly. So that's why it is taking a lot of time. So meanwhile, let's see the working of it. You can see, oh wow. So from here till here, the memory is utilized like a 745 out of this. Let's click on Control C to see the free space in a human readable format. Like 700 MB is utilized out of 30 GB. Like memory, this much memory is used. Out of this much memory, this much is used. Like free is this 1.6 GB we can able to use, and for cache files 28 GB is used. So we have stored some cache file, right? What is that? Mistral model. The reason for this slowdown is that is we are using totally the memory. Like free memory is this, and the cached memory we used up to 28 GB. That is our model ls space la. So you can see here we use like 28 GB by using a disk space in a human readable format. We can able to see that like 28 GB we used. So if you want to clear this, like if you want to clear this storage, like if you want to move this from here to root volume, you can able to do that as well. Like simply you can just type like move, or let's host it on this only. Almost you can observe like some more so almost it's getting installing. Yeah, so downloading this NVIDIA CUDA driver. It's the dependency wheel file for this, so that's why it's get a downloading. It's again 124 MB 56. Actually it was downloading multiple dependencies. Let's stop this by clicking on Control C. Let's make it simple, like let's provide some requirements.txt file and let's download that specific version only, so that it will be easy. I'm just closing this window and I'm opening this EC2 instance and just reconnecting to this again. So it is also very important point to remember, like whenever you are installing the requirements for transformer, you need to consider these only for Linux, particularly for Linux. I want to list. So these two are there. First, I want to create a requirement.txt nano space requirements.txt file. So here I'm providing whatever the requirements I have. I need requests, and forcefully I want to download this stable version of PyTorch, and then I want to install a CPU related torch model. Then I need to install this transformers. That's it. Now I just want to activate this source. Okay. Then so let's clear it. Now let's uninstall. If there will be anything which was already installed, so in my requirements I specified something. So if anything was already installed, I'm uninstalling them. You can see I have uninstalled. Then now let's install our requirements .txt. So now it will install me the required dependencies for transformers, that is a request as well as the torch. Then it also installs me the transformers library as well, only that particular version. I hope it might take faster, like it might get installed fastly. 1.1 GB is free. Now you can see all the requirements got installed successfully, like the transformers and the dependencies like request as well as the torch. You can even check it with the pip freeze command. So there you can able to observe like torch is visible to you, tokenizers are also visible to you, transformers are also visible to you. So now let's run this test.py, python 3 space test.py. So what it will do, it will just load the model. What happened is the correct path in the directory. Make sure this is a correct model identifier. So I think we have provided some wrong spelling. Might the path was not recognized for this model. We have stored this model right in specific path. That path was not recognized. So let's open that test.py by using a nano command, and let's manually specify the path by using OS. Let's import that OS, and by using the OS, let's specify OS dot environ, like environmental variable. Let's specify that is Hugging Face HF home. Hugging Face home, that is nothing but OS dot path dot expand user of. So we need to specify the path like where it was stored. So it was stored under home, under EC2 user, under dot cache, under Hugging Face. Yes. So under this actually that was stored. Now let's try to uninstall the transformers and retry to install the updated version. Might it may work. So I think I need to again activate this environment. Okay. Now let's uninstall this transformers space Y. Okay. It's already installed. Let's install it again with the latest version. Okay. Some was already there, but we are facing some issue. No space left on this device. So during this scenario, what we will do is we'll simply increase the storage space. So before doing that, let's see disk file usage. You can see 100% it was in usage. So no space is there with it. So for this, we definitely need to okay, we definitely need to add some storage for this. Like 35 GB is there. Everything is underutilized, so 100% is done. We need to add some volume of storage to our EC2 instance. Now I'm going to the storage session of my instance and selecting that particular volume ID, and I want to modify the size. Like under actions, you can see the option modify volume. Currently it's 35. Let's move it to 45 and let's modify it. One more 10 GB I've added. So I'm just reloading it. The size need to be, now you can see 45. Now you can LSBLK will show the block size. So it's a 45, but only 35 was using. In 45 GB, only 35 GB was utilizing. Now I want to make utilize of that remaining GB whatever I have added. Before doing that, let's see the file type of this root volume. So this is the root volume. I'm just copying this and pasting that here. So it's, I think, yeah, one is missing. No permission, no read permission. Yeah, this is an EC2 user, so no permission to read it. So let's change to super user. Now let's retype this so that it will work. To see what type of file it is. The file type is XFS file system it is, so we need to grow it. Since we have added the volume, we need to grow the available volume so that it will occupy whole 45 GB. XFS underscore grow file system of root directory. So that's why I mentioned like this. So now you can see it was expanded, and you can also identify it by using this command, that is lsblk. Instead of 35 here, you will get a 45 here. So that, let us see. Okay. So still 35 was visible, right? Before expanding, we need to specify the grow part. So what is our grow part? That grow part is nothing but this slash dev slash n1 is the grow part. I'm just copying this and pasting that here, and part need to be improved. So now let's do this task, that is XFS grow. Now you can see the size got, block size got changed. LSBLK will show, yeah, you can see now 45 GBs was occupied. Like whatever the size that we expanded, now we are utilizing it. To utilize it, what are the tasks we done? So grow part, to which part you want to grow, that you need to mention here, and then XFS grow fs. So this is the commands that you need to use for Linux. For Linux. Then you can see the expanded volume. Now let's try to install this. That is, let's exit from the root user. Yes, now we are in the EC2 user. Now let's try to install the transformers again. I'm running this. Some requirements are already satisfied. Like I can face up, some dependencies are already there. So successfully installed this latest version. Okay, now let's try to run this. That is a Python 3 space test.py. This is nothing but my Python file, right? Yes. Yeah, now our model is getting loading. That is a downloading charts. So whenever you can able to see this, then your model is actually getting loading. So it might take a few more minutes. The reason is that the instance type that you are using for this demo, what is the instance type that I'm using? For this demo, I'm using this GPT, that is, let me go for this. Yeah, T3 2x large I'm using. Let's connect to it again to see how much utilization of memory is happening. Like for that instance type, for this instance type, it has some memory, it has some memory and vCPUs. That memory utilization, let's see. So how to see it? Htop is the way command that you use. You can see currently 400 MB is used out of that is this MB is utilizing out of this. You can see it's drastically increasing. 437 MB. Yeah, still 0% is loaded. Okay. So totally three shards are there, out of which only zero shards are loaded. I think some, yeah, this is the model dependency which need to be installed. Previously, while using the model, it was not installed, but now it's installing, you can see. So after installing whatever the pending files of your model, of our model, previously we downloaded a model, right? Yes. So while downloading, some files are not installed. Even when downloading, the files are not installed. After downloading also, files will be installed, you can see. So that is what happening here. Due to the storage issue, like previously we have created our EBS with only 35 GB. Now we increased it to 45 GB of our EBS volume. So that's why the reason previously the model is not loaded fully. Now the volume is 45. So that's why the model is getting loaded. You can even see, like you can press Control C and see the how much storage you have available. So totally you can see under root volume 6 GB is still available, out of which 39 GB is full. The model is downloading. That is what are the pending files of that model left. Those all weights, or you can say safe tensors, or that model was downloading right now, pending files. So what is the preferred storage for now? For now we can able to prefer the storage of 45 GB for that EBS volume. But the recommended size is 50 GB. The reason is that while testing, I have utilized 50 GB of storage so that the whole model was loaded and I can able to successfully run it. But for the demo, since I am expecting to show you how to increase the volume of EBS, that is the volume of this EBS of this EC2 instance. So that's the reason I initially taken a storage of 35 GB. Then after a while overcoming the issues or the storage issue that we got, I have shown you how to increase this volume. So that's the reason I have taken 35 GB initially. But the recommended step for you to do is initially take this as 50 GB, 50, so that you might not face the issues like storage issues especially. Now, yeah, this is getting a loading, and you can see like how much storage left. So 39 GB is used, out of which 6 GB is freely available to us still. And free iPhone H, it will show you like how much memory is available. Okay, this model safe tensor got loaded, and downloading the charts, and you can see here. So one more safe tensor is loading. So like this, whatever the dependencies are not installed, those will be installed at first. That means, so after downloading this shard, or you can say after downloading this model, what happened? You can see under shards. So downloading shards. So one is occupied here. You can observe 33% got done. Out of three, one is occupied. So I think two more shards need to be downloaded and need to be added. So then our model will work and our model loading will complete. Meanwhile, second shard is, or you can say second safe tensor is getting loading. Let's try to check the storage, how much we have still. You can see like 4 GB left, 4.5 GB left, but how much we require? So here for now, approximately 3 change, let's take 4. Might it will load, that is the second model, safe tensor will load. So almost the second tensor also, that is the second safe tensor of model also getting loading. Yes, that's also gets loaded. Again, one more 5 GB. I think this is the last one. That is, you can see out of three shards, two were already loaded. So only this is the left one. I don't know whether we have the sufficient volume or not. I think 95% is done. So only 2.3 GB left. So might since in 2.3 GB this won't fit. Might this won't load. So don't worry if this won't load. We'll again the same task, that is we'll again increase the EC2 instance related volume size. So meanwhile, before it gets stopped, or let it prepare for stopping, let us prepare for increasing the volume. Let's select this volume, actions tab. So I think I need to detach, or I need to stop the EC2 instance before modifying the volume. So let's see till it's not get stopped. So let's wait for it. And disk file, so 1.8 GB left, and free space -h. Okay, so this is not used, that is our instance type memory is not used. I think buffer cache. So yeah, 97% was done. So let's wait. Wow, we encountered the error, that is no space left on device. The same error, that is you can see how much we require. Out of 4.55 GB, 3.75 GB is available, that is downloaded, but the accept one, that is 2 more GBs, so approximately 2 more GB or 1 GB exactly is required. Since that was not there, so what we are getting, no space left. So how much GB you require? Currently 2 GB. So let's take an approximate of 2 GB, and let's increase it to 1 more GB, like 3 GB. Fancy, right? Yeah. So let's try to increase the volume of again one more 3 GB, and let's try to reload the model again. So currently 45 GB we are using. 45 plus 3, approximately it's I think it's 50, but let's take 48 for now, and let's modify the space of this volume. And so whenever you modify the space, so immediate, what happened? You reached maximum modification rate per volume. Wait for 6 hours. So might I have reached the limit, increasing volume, increasing limit. I need to wait for 6 hours. So don't worry, I'll pass it and play it there and increase the volume. Before doing this, I want to clear my screen and clear my connection. Okay. So I want to first close this connection. This is easy to connect as well. Okay. Then next I'll increase this and then we'll continue with connecting again to the EC2 instance and reloading the model. Now 6 hours got completed. Now I want to increase the volume size. So I'm clicking on actions and modify volume type. And so here I'm placing like 50 GB right now. And so I'm clicking on modify so that it might take a second to update. Yeah, now you can see the size is 50. Now I'm again connecting to my EC2 instance. Before connecting, I want to show you like if you want to increase the instance type, then how to do that. So just select this instance actions, then instance settings. There you can see change instance type option. There you can able to increase the instance type of it. So 2x large is the current one that I am using. In T3 this is the largest one. If you want to choose other instance type, then you can able to select that particular instance type and you can click on change so that your instance type will be changed. If you use a best instance type, then you will get a high performance, that is within less time you will get the response. Now I'm starting this instance. Now I'm connecting to this instance. Now just I connected to this instance. Now let's see the storage I have. ls blk will show us the block size. Okay, it's already 50 GB. 50 GB was taken. Now I want to do what? I want to check with a disk file usage in human readable format. Like 45 GB is already filled and 5 GB is available to us. Now what I'm expecting is I want to run this test.py file. For that I want to activate this virtual environment since all my dependencies are installed in it. Now I want to run this like this test.py. This will invoke the model that I've installed. So meanwhile, let's open another tab or let's connect to again to this instance in another tab to see how much memory is utilizing. You can see again the tensors are loading. Previously, the third model tensor, safe tensor was not loaded. Nothing but the weight of our model, third weight of our model was not loaded. Now that was loading. After this got loaded, our shards will be loaded. So whenever the shards get loaded, our model will be loaded. So meanwhile, I want to see the memory usage. So this is the memory usage status. And let's also see the disk usage. So 1 GB is filled. Okay, it's almost there done. 13, 12, 11. Yeah. So within less seconds, it will get downloaded. Meanwhile, you can able to see that test.py content. So what is that? We are just importing the, or we are just setting the environment of our Hugging Face model home. Then we imported transformers library. From transformers, we imported this model, and what we did, we just taken that model from our directory, and we are just loading that model, and we are just printing how much time it is taking to load that model. So now you can see the downloading got done. Now the shards are getting a loading, so it might take a few seconds to minutes. The reason is that the instance type that we are using is T3 to X large, so that's why it is taking lot of time. You can even see the stop, that is memory utilization. 11 GB is utilized. So whenever loading your model, that is actually loading to this memory. Then after loading to this memory, we can able to use that model. That memory is nothing but what are the instance type that we have considered. That related memory, you can see out of mm, 19 GB is already filled out of 31 GB that is utilized related to our instance type. You can assume like a RAM and ROM. This is you can say the read-only memory is nothing but you stored your model, right? Yes, that is read-only memory. And RAM, that is a random access memory or temporary memory, is nothing but your instance type providing memory. That is this. So this is actually increasing, or you can say, so while running any compute or while running any program, this memory is used. Whereas while storing, what happens is df-h, that is nothing but this memory is used. So since we are running now, actually this memory is utilizing and it got reduced. That means the task got done. That's why the utilizing memory got reduced. Now you can open and see like a model loaded or not. Yeah, you can see the model loaded successfully, and the total seconds is nothing but this much seconds is taking to load our model, already downloaded model. Totally 200 seconds is taking. So other than this, understandable format is nothing but hours, minutes, and seconds, right? So I want to modify my code to make it understandable in hours, minutes, and seconds. So let's see the time gap. Time gap is nothing but the end time minus start time, right? Yes. So how to get hours and how to get minutes and seconds. In order to get this, so first we need to divide this time gap. How to get this hours from seconds? If I divide this time gap with 3600, that is 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. If I divide it with this, then I'll get able to get the hours. And I also require the remainder like division and modulus I want. Then it will provide me two things. One is division result, that is nothing but the total number of hours, and the second one is modulus result. Result is nothing but a remaining time. Let's take it as a remaining REM, nothing but a remaining time, and I want to do again the same thing like division modulus of that remaining time with 60, nothing but, so now that is a total hours are already considered and the remaining time will be considered. In the remaining time, what we have minutes and seconds are left. So we are dividing again this remaining time by 60 to get the minutes, and we are performing modulo division to getting the seconds. And at the end, I want to print that in a you understandable format like minutes, hours, and seconds. For that, I'm using formatting strings f, and within brackets, I'm providing like hours, colon, minutes, colon, seconds. So let's remove this and let's save and exit from here, and let's rerun this. So now actually it will provide us the time, like how much hours, seconds and minutes will take to load the model. You can see again this memory is utilizing, like currently 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB, like that it will increase till how much memory it required to load the model. So this memory is nothing but instance type memory, not our EBS volume. This memory is nothing but instance type memory. And so after loading, it will also show us the how much time was taken to load the model. We're just loading the model. That's it. Now you can see like how much hours was taken and how much minutes was taken and how many seconds was taken. So currently right now you can see 1 minute some 40 seconds were taken, right? Yes, like 39 change nothing but we can consider it as 40. Now, so we just what we have done till now. What we have done till now is we downloaded the model and we get the model by using some Python code. Now let's test the downloaded model. That is, let's provide some prompt to it and get the response from it and see whether it was providing me the response correctly or not. So for that, what I am doing, so I'm just doing testing model. So like that, I provided the heading. Now I want to take some text and let's say the text be what is AI. So like that, I want to provide some question to this model and get the response from the model and see that model response. So that's what I want to do. For that, can I able to send this text directly to my model? No. We first need to convert this text into suitable format where this model will accept. Whatever the format this model will accept, in that format only you need to send the text. So how to create that format? By using tokenizer, you can able to create that format. How to create this tokenizer? So you can create this tokenizer from transformers. From transformers itself, you need to import this. Like here you can see you imported auto model, right? In the same way, you need to import tokenizer. Auto tokenizer you need to import, and use you need to use that method to load your tokenizer from pre-trained off. So what is your model? So this is nothing but our model. I'm just copying it again and I wish to paste it here. Now I just pasted my model name here. So now our tokenizer got loaded. Now let's convert this into tokens because our model will accept tokens. So that's why we're converting this text into tokens. Tokenized text I want. How to get it? To get it, we need to use this tokenizer. Tokenizer dot tokenizer of this text. So you can provide it so that it will generate the tokenized text. But our model will accept only tensors input, PyTorch tensors input. So that's why we're installing this PyTorch. that is we are returning the response in the form of pytorch tensors. So that also we need to specify here. Now we have tokenized our text. Now I need to send this text to my model. So whatever the model that we loaded, by using that model we need to generate. So model dot generate of this tokenized text. So it will actually generate me the response. Let's save it into a variable called response. Now this model dot generate, so it will generate us the response. In the same way, like however it was accepting the input, in the same way our model will also respond. Like it will also provide the response in the format like tokens. We cannot able to understood them. So in order to understood the response, we need to decode them. So by using the same tokenizer, we are using the decode function in order to decode this response. So in response, we have multiple list of values. Among those, the zeroth one is nothing but our final output, and the other will be like the relationship between the input as well as the output, or the other details will be provided in other responses. But we require our output, so that's why we are taking the zeroth value or zeroth of our response, and we are just printing that, so that we can able to get the response or result that is generated for our particular question. Now so let's write this as well, like result is equal to and comma, and I'm saving by control S and control X. Now I'm just running this. Now what are the tasks will happen? So first it will load the model. So what happened, we just encountered some mistake. If you clearly observe, then you can find there we got a mistake at tokenizers. The reason behind it is transformers and tokenizers must be interlinked with each other. But if we upgrade only transformers, not tokenizers, then what happens is it won't work. So let's uninstall tokenizers. Cannot uninstall, record file not found. Okay, that's actually not there. So let's install the tokenizers. Okay, let's uninstall both transformers and tokenizers, and let's try to install them again so that the issues will be resolved, I think. Or before installing them, let's try to upgrade them if possible, and let's see whether the error got resolved or not. So still we are getting the error. That means we need to uninstall them and install them. Now let's uninstall the tokenizers and transformers. You can see successfully install this tokenizers and transformers. Now let's clear the cache. Okay, now let's try to install them again. Before installing, I want to check like whether they were there or not. Pip show is also one more command, or pip freeze. It will show us the packages which are already installed. You can check with the T. You can see tokenizers is already there. I want to uninstall this. So I'm just copying this and writing the command like pip uninstall. So particularly this found existing, cannot uninstall this, record not found. You may able to recover from this. So let's try to copy this and paste this so that we can able to forcefully reinstall that pip install. No. This. Now you can see we have the tokenizers. Still this was not uninstalling. That means pip was unable to find this recording file. We can remove it forcefully like from the location where that packages are there. You can type like a pip freeze again to see whether that is there or not. You can see that is not there, that is tokenizer not there. Now let's try to install both, that is transformers as well as tokenizers. I think why I do not provide. Yes, so now it will install again the transformers and tokenizers, and will perform again like loading the model with that. Successfully tokenizers and transformers got installed. Now let's run this python 3 space test.py. Okay, now the model is getting loading, right? Yes. So now we do not have getting any error. Now the model is getting loading. Now you can see the model is loaded successfully, but here you can observe like while loading this tokenizer of this model, so it is asking again the dependencies, that is proto buff. I'm just copying it again and I want to install it. Proto buff. Since it's a dependency for the tokenizer, we need to install it. I'm just rerunning this. So now again the model is getting loading. Meanwhile, it's a good practice to store whatever the dependencies that you are installing in requirements.txt, so that for the next time whenever you're trying to do this, then you won't require this much of effort. So I'm just editing this requirements dot txt, because if they were in correct manner, then we do not need to focus this much. Tokenizers and proto buff. Okay, I'm just control S and control X. So let's see the memory itself here. 23 GB is taken. That means okay, two charts get loaded out of three. So wait for a moment. Again, this tokenizer is a dependency of this sentence piece. So we need to install it also. So let's copy it and let's open the requirements.txt, and there let's paste it at the end so that it also gets downloaded. Now let's install all the requirements. So already available packages won't download, but the requirements, whatever the other things that we mentioned, those will get downloaded. You can see sentence piece got downloaded. Now let's test the code again. Now you can see like our model was loaded, but txt is not recognized. In our code, there will be some mistake like txt is not there. Let's edit our code, that is a text test.py. Let's open it and let's see. So here we got the error like txt is not defined. So in this line we got txt is not defined. How do we define our text? So okay, by using text we defined our text, but we considered like while tokenizing txt. So let's modify it like text and let's save it and let's rerun it again. Now okay, two shards are getting loaded and the third shard need to be get loaded. So after that, hope for we'll get the response. Yeah, now you can see the model gets loaded and again we get some attribution error. So at where? At here. In this line we got some attribution error. So line 27, let's try to modify it again. So I think the issue is that here the dictionary will be generated whenever we tokenize it, that we need to unpack and send to our model. So that's why I'm providing 2 stars here and just clicking on Ctrl S and Ctrl X. Let's try to run this. Now you can see our model was loaded successfully. Approximately it takes 1 minute 30 seconds. Obviously it's a bit faster I think compared to other. So now you can see the result, whatever the result that we are getting is nothing but that we printed after result is equals to. So that is what is AI. AI is a branch of computer science that aims to create intelligent machines. Superb. But I am getting this S. Why I am getting this? Nothing but a special token, right? I want to remove all the special tokens that I am getting from the response. For that, we need to write like skip special tokens while providing the question or while generating the response. We need to provide that. So here we need to provide like special tokens are skipped. So that we need to provide like skip special tokens. And here we can also specify like a length of the response that we are expecting, like max tokens of a response. Those all details we can able to specify here, like temperature top P and top K. Now what we have done right now. So meanwhile let's run it to get the response and let's think whatever we have done till now. Till now we have downloaded Hugging Face model, that is the current latest one, that is a Mistral AI, that is a version 3 we have downloaded from Instruct 7 billion parameters model, and we loaded that model from local machine, not from Google or not from Hugging Face. We are loading it from locally. We are not using any token or we are not using any API key, and we are just loading it from locally. Then we are testing it by providing some code. Locally we are loading the model, and locally we tested our model by providing some question. what is AI is the question that I provided, and you can see I got the response, and I'm printing that here itself. So that's how the process is happening now, or these are the steps that we have done till now. Like the first step we have done, that is downloading the or getting the model, and testing the downloaded model is also done. The third step, that is nothing but hosting the downloaded model in simple, in precise way. How can I able to host the downloaded model? So for that, for high performance APIs, we need to use fast API. What we need to use? We need to use the first fast API. I think we are not supposed to use this as a keyword argument. So let's remove it, like whatever the argument that we provided. That is this skip special tokens, and let's save it. And okay, now let's make it, or let's host it, because our model is running and we are getting the response, right? Yes, you can even run it now again, so that you can able to see the response again. Again, the model loading was taking the same time, and let's wait and see the response, like what it is providing me the response. I think it was consistent a bit, so that's why we're getting the same response previously and now. So you can see the previous response, that is this, and the current response is this. Okay, now so let's see the code that we have. Test dot py. This is the code that we have. By using this, actually we generated the response. I'm just copying this code exactly from where the code is, and I want to make it suitable for hosting. So to make it suitable for hosting, I'm just opening some IDE one, nothing but a Python IDE or Python online platform I'm opening. The reason why I'm opening is, so for editing purpose, online platforms are easy to edit. So that's why I'm opening this. Now I want to first create some function, and what this function will do is, this function need to take the request and generate the response and return the response. So it needs to return whatever the response that we have, that response it needs to be returned. So I'm just copying this. This is nothing but my final output that I need to return. So that's why I'm returning this. I'm just commenting this print one. Okay. So now whenever I call this generate function, it need to return this response. So meanwhile, I want to, what are the things that I want? I'll just simply generate my response, or I'll provide my question and generate my response for my question. Yes, for my question, I'll generate my response. So that's why I'm providing my prompt here. If I provide prompt as an input to this method, then it needs to generate me the response. For this prompt or for this question, whatever the question that you provided, or for this question, for the prompt I have provided. So that's why instead of text here, I'm providing the prompt. Whatever the prompt or question that I'm getting, that I am providing here for the, instead of text. Or you can simply comment this and provide that particular question here instead of this text. You can just provide your prompt here, and you can tokenize that prompt or tokenize that text and get the response for that particular question that you provided. And so this is the simple function where it will take the prompt and provide you the response related to that particular prompt. Now I want to make it, or I want to host it. How to do that? If you want to host, simply you have fast API. So you can use that and import the fast API, and you can create an app from it by using the fast API that you imported. That is this fast API. Actually, F is capital. You can use that fast API to create this app. So that's it. And so how do we request by using this app? How do we request to this to this what do we say function? How do we request to this function? So whenever I have a request like post request to this app with with forward slash generate with forward slash generate by Mistral model or anything you can put generate by Mistral model. So like that anything you can able to put. So like this if you get a request to your app like this for my app do I get the request, then it will implement or it will take this prompt and it will perform these all actions and provide the response back. So I want to implement this. This is the simple way. I'm just copying this whole thing and I'm opening my EC2 instance again, and you can see I have these. Now I'm just creating one more, that is a nano app.py. Inside this app.py I'm pasting the content whatever I have created, and I'm just clicking on Ctrl S and Ctrl X to save and quit from that page. And now I want to host this. I want to host this app. So how to host that app? If you want to host any app by using fast API, first you need to install that fast API. Fast API you need to install. Currently it was not found. So in order to install it, pip install fast API within bracket CLI you need to mention. So let's install this and let's try to host it without installing that CLI, so that we can able to see fast API space run is the command that you use to host this. So now you can see the actual command like how to install this fast API. This is standard you need to install. I'm just copying this and pasting the same command. Fast API standard you need to install in order to run your apps. And remember, if you want to run your apps, then you must need to name your app with app.py only. It will directly pick this app.py and it will host. I'm just running that fast API. Now you can enter so that this will be recognized and you'll get the commands. So fast API space run. Here you can see I'm not even providing the app name. It will directly pick this app.py as the app. I'm just clicking on enter. You can see our model is just now hosted. Our model is just now hosted. Now you can able to access it directly from here, from this point. If you just copy this, or since this is the public IP address of my EC2 instance, I'm just copying this and I'm opening a new tab, and actually I'm typing like, so you can see that http colon double slash, this is the IP address of it, colon 8000 at where that EC2 instance hosted that app. So that is this. Now it will take a moment to load this. Or you can see here whether, yeah, server is started at this point and documentation is available at this point. Forward slash docs is the place. We can even check with there. Why we are unable to reach the site? I think the security groups were preventing. For this EC2 instance, you can see the security groups or inbound traffics that are allowed. I think it was not allowing a port that is 8000. By using 8000 port only, right, we are connecting, but now that port is not allowed. Let's edit this inbound traffic and let's check with connectivity. Now let's edit this and I want to allow TCP traffic. That is from what port? 8000, and from everywhere I want to allow right now, and save this rule. Okay, now since the security is updated, let's reload this page. Yeah, now you can see we can able to connect to that API, and we can able to request, like we can able to write the prompt and we can able to request. Let's try it out, like what is AI I'm providing, and execute command I'm running to see the response, whatever I get. So if there will be any errors, those will be replicated here and the response. And you can see this is the parameters that we are passing to execute or request to our model. So this is the way where you can able to use it, or you can able to use your model through online, or you can say from browser. If you want to use it through your code or through your particularly Python code, then you can able to use requests. You can able to import the request and you can use the request to use this. I can even show you that way as well. And one more thing, so whenever your request will be sent to your instance, that also you can able to see from the hosted place. You can see this is the place where you hosted, right? Yes. And you can able to see the status, like whatever is happening on top of your server. Like first the shards will be loaded and total time for loading your model is this much, and testing a model. Yes, testing will be started, like we provide the comment like testing, right? So that's got printed, and now yeah, you can see the response is also posted back. That means we can able to see from that UI. From this UI, we can able to see the response. The response under this, yeah, you can see this is the response body that we got. So what is this? What is AI? AI is a branch of yeah. We can even send other questions as well, like who are you, like that we can able to send what are the questions that we want. So whenever we send, then again here the model will get loaded and it will needs to do generate the response and it will send the response back like this, and that will be visible here. So meanwhile it will get the response. So we got the response, I think. Yes, the response we got, like let's open and see. Killed the model, or you can say this was killed, the process got killed. The reason is that the instance type that we are using is not sufficient, so that's why it's got killed. I'm just rerunning it again by using this fast API space run. So meanwhile, let's run it again, or let's execute it again. Since we started it again, till now let's clear the response that we have and let's rerun it again. Where is our model? So this is our model. Now our model charts are loading twice. Let's stop this by clicking on Control C to forcefully stop this. Yes, I'm just clicking on Control C. Okay, now I'm running it again and I'm opening this and executing the same command again. Like, who are you? It will generate me the response. Like, charts are loading, the same thing, and model gets loaded. Then it will generate me the response and send the response back to here. So, meanwhile, let's open one more connection to this EC2 instance. Let's connect one more time to that EC2 instance and let's try to write some code, Python code, in order to request to that model. To request to that model, I want to write some code under test.py, but already I have some code inside test.py. So I want to remove that Python file and rewrite the code. Like test.py is already there. I'm just removing that test.py. Now you can list and see there is no test.py, and I'm just writing like nanospace test.py, and here I'm writing the code in order to request to my model. First, you need to import the request, and by using that request, you need to send a post request to your model. So, how to write that code to send a post request? So, simply by using this request dot post is the method that you need to use to send the request, and here you need to provide the URL, or you can say the model related URL where you want to send the request. Let's save that URL here, http colon double slash, and so this is the public IP address of our model hosted EC2 instance. So I'm just copying that and pasting that here, and colon on top of 8000 port it was hosted. So that URL I want to use to send. In addition to that, so to where, to which route I am sending my request, that is nothing but forward slash generate by Mistral model, right? Generate by Mistral model. So to this I am sending the request, and so while sending the request, do I am sending anything? Yes, we are sending our question, or you can say we are sending our prompt. So what is my prompt? Like what is my question? Let's ask a question like what is ML, or what is machine learning? So let's ask some question like this to our model. So how I need to send that question? I need to send that question in the form of like this, like in the form of dictionary. I need to send that question. So what is this? It's nothing but a prompt. To specify it as a prompt, I am providing that, and so I'm just getting the response and storing it in a response variable, and at the end I want to print this response to see the response. It's actually JSON response, so I want to decode it, and let's save it and control X. So now inside our test.py, actually our code is there to request our model with this question. Since the model is hosted on top of this layer, or you can say on top of this, we are requesting with this to our model by providing this question. Let's see whether the previous execution that we have done with this was done or executed or not. Who are you? Yeah, we got the response. I'm an 24 years old woman from Netherlands. I'm currently studying for something it was providing. Okay, that's okay. I think the memory utilization is very high. So let's stop this and let's rerun this app so that the memory utilization will be fallen. Okay. Now I want to ask this question, or I want to run this script so that from Python code it will request our model, whatever the model that we hosted right now, and get the response and print that response here. So that's why I'm running this Python 3 space test.py. So we got some mistake like missing parameters. It was provided like prompt prompt we have provided it, and input field is none. So why it is providing like this? The reason is that we need to specify these parameters under this prompt is nothing but the parameters that I am passing, right? So that we need to specify here while sending the request. We need to specify that. So these are nothing but the parameters, and this is nothing but the URL. For this URL, I am sending these parameters as the input, and now I'm just running this. I hope now we do not get any error, and you can even open the hosted place to see. And now we got the post request to this hosted model. Let's see the memory utilization. Okay, now the memory utilization is also less. So hope this model will take the question and respond back, and we can able to see the response here. So let's wait till it will respond and provide the response. Now you can see the model gets loaded after 1 minute 30 seconds, and so hope for a moment it will provide us the response back that will be printed here. You can see we got the response. That means our model will send the post request back. Yes. So now you can see the response like what is ML. For our question, what is the response? ML is a machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that provides ability to automatically and so on is there. That means it was unable to provide the large response. So what I am expecting is I want to set the max tokens limit. I'm just clicking on Control C to stop this, and inside my app.py I'm just editing this to tell like what is the max length of response that I want to generate. So while generating you can specify like max new tokens. Max new tokens that we are allowing is, let's say, 32,000 tokens I want to allow. Before doing this, let's see like a Hugging Face model. So Mistral 7B, yeah, this model. Let's see like how much amount it will generate, so that we can able to generate that much, right? That much amount of response. Under config.json, you can able to see the size like 32,768 tokens. At max, it was allowing, so that's why I'm providing that tokens here. So these many tokens we can able to generate. Now I'm generating at max all tokens and control S and control X. Okay. Now let's redeploy it, or let's redeploy this app. So let's also see, yeah. Now you can say this is also free, like memory of our instance type. Now let's request it again to see the response for this same question. Since I increased the limit of max tokens to be generated, let's see what response or how much response, how the response will get. And one more thing is that we can also add few more parameters like top p, top k, temperature. We can able to add while generating in the generated generation section. Let's wait for a moment so that this model will load and respond back for our particular question, so that we can able to compare the previous result. Like, so this is the previous result. We can able to compare the previous result with the currently generating the result. Now our model got loaded successfully, and it will provide us the response back in a moment. Almost 27 GB was taken, or 27 GB of memory was taken from our instance type. So let's see the response. So whenever the memory got downed, or whenever we get this post request, then the model is responded. We can assume like the model is responded at that moment of time, or else whenever we can see the response, we can assume that the model is sent the response back. It was generating the response. Meanwhile, let's see like how much hard it is working. You can see 27.7 GB is already full. Okay. And the tasks, like 40 tasks are running and 46 threads and 109 KTHR. I don't know. Killed threads, I think. And two are remain running. Yeah, only one is running. That means mostly, yeah. We, you can see the post request was sent. That means we got the response back. So let's move back. Wow, it was generating me a large response. Like, what is ML? For this, previously it was end response like this, less than a line. But now you can see machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that provides ability to automatically learn and improve the experience, improve from experience without a explicit programming. It focusing on development of computer programs, then so and so. A lot of response, right? Yes. So like this, now because we got a lot of response, it might take a moment as well. Because we are generating the response not in a streamed way. If we generate in a streamed way, then immediately whenever the response we are getting, that streamed bytes will be printed here. But now, since we are not generating it like a streamed response, we will get the whole response, and after generating the whole response only, that will be printed here. So that's why it might take a bit more moment of time. So like this, you can able to adjust the parameters like top p, top k, temperature to adjust the randomness of the output, and you can able to generate the response based on your requirement, and you can able to adjust the max length as well, max tokens length, whatever that we adjusted right now, to get the adjusted length, like how much response that you want, that you can define like that. So this is the way where you can able to do hosting as well as testing of that hosted model. You can say I'm using here the request method. This request method will send the request to this IP address through what? Through Google or through any search engine. And it will get the response for our prompt. And we're just printing it here. So that's what the code related to test. So this is all the thing related to the end-to-end project. We have launched our EC2 instance and we have rectified what are the errors that we get while doing this task. So what is the task? How to host Hugging Face model. Like this, you can able to host any Hugging Face model locally on EC2 instance, and you can able to rectify, or you can able to overcome the issues that we face while hosting your model in your EC2 instance. Mostly these are the errors which were faced while hosting a model locally on top of EC2 instance. So that's why I'm facing these all errors. For the first time also I faced these errors. In order to show you these errors, I am facing the same errors again. And then I hosted this Mistral 7B Instruct version 3. That is nothing but the latest version of today that I have downloaded, tested the working, and hosted the model and accessed the hosted model by using requests. By using request module, I accessed that hosted model. So that's all about this video. So we have done everything. Okay, now, so before stopping this, I'm stopping the instance at first. Now you can observe like 1 minute, or it was taking a bit moment of time to providing the providing me the response. If you want to increase the performance, like at fast, if you want the response, how much fast you want the response, that much better instance type that you need to choose. If you choose GPU type instance, then it will outperforms the CPUs. Like it will outperform more than double, triple, 5 times, even 10 times. If you prefer GPU of large type, then it will provide you response within seconds. For your particular request, it will send the response in that much faster way. For this demo, this T3.2x large is sufficient for me, and for this demo, 50 GB of EBS storage is sufficient for me. So that's why I've preferred these. at the end, I'm specifying the points that you have learned, like downloading any model, not only Hugging Face. You just copy the model name and paste it there, and you can download that model from Hugging Face. And then you can test the model and host that model by using fast API within few seconds to minutes. And then you can able to access it by using request module from Python. So in this way, you can able to host the top training models locally and use them how many times you want, those many times. So that's about this video. I hope this video is useful. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.